Hey everybody, Keith Worrall with OFM On The Ice. Just setting up our tip-ups, and what I want to do today is talk to you a little bit about tip-up tips. If you're going to be using flags and you like to tip-up fish for a lot of toothy critters, walleyes and pike, a lot of people over the years I've seen lose trophy fish because they're not using the right kind of leaders. If you're fishing pike and you're on a lake that's got a chance at a pretty good walleye, you want to be able to make sure you've got the right leader on. So I see a lot of guys using 8 to 10 pound test mono when they're walleye fishing. And if you're on a lake that's got big pike in it, you get a chance at losing a fish of a lifetime. Not only a fish of a lifetime being a pike, but a fish of a lifetime being a big walleye. They've got teeth. And when you're using an 8 to 10 pound test, if you let that fish take it, which a lot of guys do, they give it that a minute, sometimes a little bit more. I do the same thing. I make sure that fish has got the hook in its face. But also, if you're using mono and you let that fish take it too long, you really got to play that fish to get it up the hole, and you're going to lose a lot of big fish over your lifetime because you're not using the right leader for the job. If I'm fishing pike and I know it's a lake that's strictly pike or bass, I normally will go with a 25 pound fluorocarbon leader or a 7-strand steel leader coated. That way, if I hit that fish, I don't have to play it too easily, and I know I'm going to get it through the ice. Fluorocarbon is really good leader material because it doesn't cut as easy as mono. So that's one little tip there that you can keep in mind. If you're going to use mono, 8 to 10 pound, fishing for walleyes, a lot of guys like that stuff because it's real flexible, the minnow takes off, and the low visibility on the leader. That you can get away with that now with the new fluorocarbon lines that are out on the market. Check out the 8 to 15 pound fluorocarbons, and maybe even the 25 and up. Some of my pike leaders on my pike sets are actually 60 pound fluorocarbon leaders. You got to take the leader itself to straighten it out, especially if you leave that looped around your spool over the course of a week or whatever, over the course of summer even. That fluorocarbon is going to keep the memory of the spool. So a little bit you got to keep in mind with that is trying to straighten that out. I actually have one here set up with, this is a 60 pound fluorocarbon leader. I've got it about a little over 2 feet long. You see how it's got that coil? It's real rubber bandy. You don't want that when you set it. So one way to get rid of that, I take the hook and I stick it on the tip of my boot. And then you take your fingers and rub it up and down that. Good, 5, 6, 7 times until she's nice and straight. See? Now you've got a nice, perfectly straight leader. It's not going to be visible to the fish, and you're not going to lose that fish of a lifetime if it hits you. If you're fishing with a heavier leader, fluorocarbon style like this, you'll get that fish through the hole. Just a little tip. There is a lot more stuff out there nowadays. You don't have to use that mono. I've seen too many people lose really big fish trying to pull them up through the holes. Not anymore. Check out the new fluorocarbon stuff. You can make your own, or go with the 7-strand stainless steel leaders. You can get away with that on a little bit darker stained water. The clear water, I definitely would recommend going with fluorocarbon. It's definitely the way to go. Another little thing to keep in mind with leaders fishing for toothy critters, if you're the kind of guy that you're going out and you're out with your kids, or you're out with a lot of people that haven't spent a lot of time on the water, they don't know how to play that fish to get it up through the hole on light line or light leader material, keep in mind that you're dealing with people that are going to want to go out, they're going to want to really set the hook on that fish, and you're going to want to rip it through the hole. Big difference between the mono or any of the lighter leaders. The 7-strand leaders are great for that. Kids are going to go up, they can fight the fish. If the fish pulls really hard, they got a chance at getting it up the hole no matter how hard they pull back. So 7-strand leaders are great for the steel leaders, for kids or people that haven't done a lot of ice fishing. That way you're going to ensure that they're going to get that fish through the hole. And if you still want that flexibility and that clear vision, the fish isn't going to be able to see the leader, then definitely go to the fluorocarbon.